you guys. So I had all intentions of coming back this morning and that did not happen, okay? Furthermore, I definitely pushed myself. My back right now is killing me, which is a terrible combination because I am still sick. I feel a lot better than I did a few days ago. Um, and I don't know, I also woke up feeling like really confident. Like, I don't know. Just, I was in a really good mindset this morning and I was very productive. And then I decided to work on my shed, which just to get you guys up to speed. So, long story short, I bought this house. It's a fixer-upper. I thought I would have been done fixing it by now. It's been almost 5 years. Nope. Literally, life was lifing. And yeah, I'm still catching up on stuff. So, anyways, long story short, my town in general has had like a groundhog. That's what they are. A groundhog problem for like years now. Like since I've been here, some years were worse than others. Like I keep telling people all the time, I think 2 years ago, we had a really bad infestation. Gianna's floating behind me. But anyway, or behind the camera. We had a really bad infestation, and I remember very specifically that year was bad because I didn't plant anything in my garden because there's just too many of them. They wanted to eat everything. I just wasn't risking it. So, anyways, that being said, everybody has been following this drama on TikTok. I had to stop posting on there because people were just like so mad at me. But long story short, there was groundhogs living underneath my shed and they really come out during the summertime. And I've had Gianna again now for 2.5 years, just about. And so when she was a puppy, she might have been like their size or smaller than them. Like those things are big. Like those things are big and fluffy, bigger than like what you think. And they're rodents, so they're scary looking, like these really sharp looking teeth. I got to see one up close, well, two technically after Gianna killed them. But nonetheless, for years she's been trying to get them, and now that she's fully grown, she's pity mix. They're not fully grown until 2 years old. So now that she's fully grown this summer, she's like, I'm ready. And then on top of that, the way that I play with her, I always like play with her with soccer balls and tug of war and all the other things. And like pit bulls have a high prey drive, so she's been ready and she has been on it. And both times, gophers or they're groundhogs, they're like kind of sneaky. Both times I saw the fights happen between my dog and these groundhogs um in real life. And like the first attack, the thing had like no chance, like literally didn't even fight back. The second groundhog was fighting back. I was like, oh fuck. And I was scared. I was gonna have to take Gianna to the vet. Luckily I didn't. um they bite if they're being attacked. I think she did get bit. Like if I have pictures, I'll insert a picture of her paw. Like she was bleeding a little bit. And it scared me because the injury looked worse than what it was. But anyways, long story short, I was like, I need a permanent solution to keep the groundhogs out because they're driving her nuts. She's barking all the time. Now she wants to kill them. She's like patrolling the shed. Before it was annoying. Now I'm like, okay, this is really dangerous for her and for them. Like, yeah, I don't like groundhogs, but I don't really want them dead. You know what I mean? Um, so people were mad that I posted after she killed the first groundhog. She like had it in her mouth and was showing it off like a prize and was running around. It took me like an hour to lure her away with treats to like get the dead body and dispose of it. And then the second one was even worse because we were literally in a heat wave and she would not let me take it. And I know my dog, nipping is not allowed in my house, but like she was really nipping at me for me to go away and like leave her little prized possession alone. And it was scaring me. So, anyways, long story short, I needed a permanent solution. So your girl was on it. And before I resorted to me being the permanent solution, I before I even had Gianna, no, it was around the time she was a puppy. So I called a company and I wanted a quote for them to put down a trap. They wanted to charge me $800. Now I'm no rocket scientist, but $800 to lay a trap and relocate groundhogs, and apparently you need, I believe you need like a permit to relocate them as well, but even so, permits are not that expensive. I was like, why am I spending $800 for you to get a trap, wait a few days just to relocate them? Like, I just, $800 didn't sound right to me. I think that's actually what stopped me from hiring a person. So anyways, I decided to get a solution myself, which was fencing. So literally I had to take all of the decorative lattice. Yeah, it wasn't any real fencing underneath my shed. It's a tiny, slightly above ground. It has rocks underneath it and like gravel, but it's slightly above ground. So it had decorative lattice, really old lattice. Had to take that down, put real fencing, the kind that's like metal wire that literally it's a barrier for any kind of wildlife. Had to put that underneath the shed. In order to do that, you have to excavate all four sides of the shed. And like it was horrible manual labor, horrible pain on my back. Like that's semi why my back was hurting, or why my back is hurting today, but it was worse when I started this project. I was doing it in 90-degree weather, trying to do it as fast as I can. Mind you, I've also been dealing with the rain because it gets very muddy and dirty when you're excavating. Anyways, it took me like 2 weeks to get the fencing. I was so proud when the fencing was done. But it did. It took me like 2 full weeks to put the fencing in. And then I started on replacing the decorative wood lattice with now vinyl white lattice. That's what everybody uses now. It's more modern. It's a newer material. But nailing through that plastic is no joke. Let's start there. And I figured out a way to like make it easier on myself. You basically have to like pre-nail the nail into the lattice. That's neither here nor there. But what I didn't realize is we've gotten so much rain. It's been humid. I think I talked about this in my other video. It's been so humid, the moisture from the humidity gets into the air. Eventually it's going to come down. That's why you have so much rain now in the summer. And so it's been raining and it's been muddy out. And like, you don't really want to work on wet mud and or grass because you are shoveling mud and not dirt. And mud is heavier, it's more difficult to deal with, XYZ and the third. So I've been trying to find a day where the dirt is completely dry. There hasn't been a day in weeks. Hasn't been a day in weeks. Like literally every day there's mud. So I had told myself, well, if I'm still sick and I can't leave the house, I have to. I feel like I told you about this in the vlog yesterday. I'm getting like what is it called? I'm getting anxiety. That's what it is. I have clutter in the house. I feel like I have clutter outside with all these unfinished projects, and like everything's just causing me anxiety. So I'm like, I have to finish some of these projects and start putting away material and throwing stuff out. So I said, okay, cool. I'm going to finish this today. And so I finished it today. I woke up, I had my coffee, had a very small breakfast, and I got my ass outside and shoveled mud for a good 2 hours and fought with decorative lattice for 2 hours. But I got it done in 2 hours. So you know what? I'm taking the W. That piece of the shed is done. Now I have to deal with second hurdle. It's not completely done. I have to deal with painting, which I also could not do because you want your wood to be completely dry before you paint over it. And again, all this water, wood's never completely dry. Anyways, long story short, the shed has not been the first time that I've messed with it. Maybe like 3 summers ago. I decided to refresh the paint on the shed door and around the roofing. And I used the original colors that the previous owner had used because I thought that they looked pretty together. Baby, when I refreshed the colors, they were ugly as hell. It was basically burgundy red, gray. And when I started to paint, like when I was almost done, not even started, I realized how ugly it was. And I was like, oh, I need to like redo this. This is atrocious. So, anyways, long story short, all these years later, I didn't fix the paint. So I'm fixing it now. Have to redo the hinges and some on some of the hardware that literally I neglected for 3 years. I'm going to do it now that I've been paying attention to the shed. So there's a lot going on back there. I think depending on the rain, I think I may be able to get it done this week. We'll see. The problem with the shed door is it's so heavy that like it's hard to drill new holes. Oh, I can't talk. It is hard to drill new holes for the hinges by myself without somebody holding the door. So I have a solution. I'm gonna get some 2x4s from Home Depot and kind of make like a little support underneath the door. But I'm gonna take it down, repaint everything. I think I'm gonna do everything white. I don't even care about making it super cute, like plain simple. Um, and yeah, calling it a day. Today, I finished the lattice, but I also, when I put the dirt back down, I also put topsoil, manure back there, and seed. Hopefully, that'll help the new area, the new grass in that area to grow. So we will see. I'm not sure. But at least I feel like 2/3 of the project is done. The last major piece is going to be the door, and it's either going to be very quick to do or not. I feel like everything very quick with this has not been quick. But at least the worst part was over. The worst part for sure was putting in that fencing. That was absolutely horrible. Like literally those blue collar construction workers, and contractors, like the ones that are fixing shit, they literally sacrifice their bodies. We do not give them enough credit, because I was sore for days. And the little bit of work that I did today, my back is fucking killing me. So, took magnesium. So that's where I am. Then I struggled with like what to eat for lunch because after I finished that project, I went upstairs. I worked on some graphics for Public Fund. That is my crowdfunding platform that I'm trying to get off. The ground. So if you want to support me there, you can go subscribe, start a campaign. You can also create an account. That will also be super helpful. Like our socials, they're all Public Fund PF, the letters PF, if you want to support me, as I also work on my company. So with that being said, I was working and I'm still sick. That's what I'm saying. I'm driving myself like underneath the ground because I worked on the house this morning and then immediately went and worked on Public Fund from like 11. It's now 2 o'clock, from 11 to 2. But I'm sick and I'm really tired and I want to go to bed. That's just the truth. I want to take medicine and sleep. That's not happening. So I will say, like, after I came inside the house and went upstairs, I went to grab a snack. And like, I'm also having a problem with like my fitness goals. Oh, I'm about to go on a rant. I've been like doubling up on gym time. And it's these small things like you getting sick that can really throw you off like your goals. And so I've been freaking out about my weight because I've been in a gym, but I've been gaining weight, which means I'm clearly not in a calorie deficit. And I feel like the little bit of weight that I did gain, I have not been able to keep it off. So I just have pressure right now to like get it off this summer while I have more availability in my schedule to be like flexible. So anyways, long story short, that's like a conversation for another day. I've been trying to actually get more protein in and it's been like a nightmare. Like literally I got sick and I didn't like snack or do anything crazy, but I couldn't, like my stomach was upset and I couldn't really keep food down for real. So I lost my appetite. So I was eating like 2 meals a day for the past couple of days and like fruit here or there, like a snack here or there. But they were mostly like, they were more carb heavy than I would like. So like one day I had a BLT on sourdough, like yeah, with sourdough, but I really don't need that bread. One day I had 2 cheeseburgers because I was starving, only eating 2 meals a day. And I think one meal was like a salad, and I was like, no, I need something good. One meal was like stir fried noodles, and most of it was like healthy. Like I made sure I had protein, veggies, and a carb. It was just more carbs than I would want in my diet for the week. But on the flip side, I was literally telling myself like I need the carbs because my stomach was also upset, like outside of the congestion and everything else that was going on. And yeah, this is TMI. My stomach was upset, and like carbs was helping me keep food down. Um, so I had carbs. And once you have carbs, you start to crave sugar and things that you should not eat. So I've been craving. I finally found some like 2 weeks ago. Colombian, specifically empanadas. I absolutely love those things. I have so much nostalgia with specifically those type of empanadas from my high school days. And it's been so hard. Maybe I just like wasn't looking in the right places, but it's been so hard to find them. I found them 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh, let me Google if there's a restaurant near my house that has these empanadas. And sure enough, there is one. And I was 2 seconds from making a special trip and just buying a bunch of those empanadas in bulk to eat. I can't eat them because they're deep fried. That's the problem with them. They're deep fried. They're gonna throw me off my diet. And then I was like, damn, if I can't have that, I have some chicken thighs that are defrosting. The second option that I really wanted was Italian food. I have that carbone vodka sauce in the fridge. I was like, I could make me a good chicken cutlet and some pasta right now. That sounds delicious. But long story short, I told myself absolutely not. We're gonna stay with our goals. So I made a flavorful meal. Excuse me. It's cooking right now. I made some baked jerk chicken. It's in the oven, and I am boiling some sweet potatoes. To treat myself, I may put like a little bit of butter on there and a little bit of sugar, but that is what I'm eating. Um, in the meantime, I had a piece of Gouda cheese. Like even today, it sounds random. Like I don't know why I'm not losing weight. Like my meals, even having carbs, were like very tiny. So like this morning, I had maybe like a fourth of a cup of ground beef left over from yesterday. So I had that with a little bit of Chick-fil-A sauce and some pickles. That was my breakfast with my coffee. Then when I came back from being outside, you could tell I was exhausted. I'm still tired. I had a rice cake. Half the rice cake had almond butter on it. The other half of the rice cake, I just sprinkled some salt and vinegar seasoning on it. And I had a peach. That was it. Now I'm cooking and I'm on my second coffee. I haven't had any yet. Been waiting for it to cool down. It's good. This is kind of a treat. I put a little bit of brown sugar in here. I have not been having sugar. The only sugar that I've been allowing myself technically has been carbs that I eat during like regular meals and then like dates. And I've had honey this week because I had it with my tea because I've been sick, but I've been trying to like really cut out sugar. So, I don't know, I've been struggling, man. I'm like, I feel like I've been working out. I've been eating very little. The weight's not coming off. I don't know what to do. Um, but yeah, my willpower was very low. This afternoon, my willpower was low. I'm proud of myself that I did not succumb to my urges, but at some point I want to have like a nice cheap meal, but I don't know what my goal is going to be. Like I'm going to take myself out to dinner. Like I don't know what my goal is going to be in order for me to do that, but I think it'll be nice for me to like I want to put my hair in like a nice little slick back bun, and I I need a new little black dress. I need a new wardrobe in general, but I don't think I have like a little black dress on deck that I can just like a simple one that I can just throw on. I kind of want to do that and like take myself out and like go on a date sometime this summer. Maybe I don't need to wait to lose the weight to do that. The problem is that like I don't want to go to a restaurant and worry about food, you know? Like I want to just have a good time. So, we'll see, but that's where I am. Anyways, I've been chatting like crazy. You can literally tell right now that I'm tired. I'm looking at myself in the camera and I'm like, this eye for sure is like, girl, if you don't close these eyes and take a nap, oh, it is what it is. Anyways, I might continue this vlog into tomorrow. I think I'm done for the day. I think the rest of the day is just going to be me chilling out. I have a lot of work that I have to do, so I'm gonna nap. And then I'm giving myself grace because this is why I never recover or it takes me so long. Oh, that's my Alexa. Alexa, stop. Yeah, this is why it takes me so long because I just run myself into the ground. And I need to stop doing that. So, anyways, I'm gonna go and I'll be back when I can be back. We'll see. Okay, y'all, so this is the progress that I've made with my shed, if you've been following. So what took the most time is the actual fencing that I had to put. Let me zoom in underneath the bottom. So I removed the old lattice and I literally had to excavate. I can't even talk. Excavate around the entirety of the shed. So right now, everything is dug up here. And so, hi G. To keep the groundhogs out, if you've been following all the groundhog drama that's happened over the last few weeks, I'll probably elaborate a little bit later. But nonetheless, it seems like it's been keeping the groundhogs out. So, if you're curious to know, hold on, I'll show you. So here you can definitely see that hole was what we were waiting for. We were waiting. Hi, Gigi. She's gonna be very annoying. So if you see right here, that hole was a groundhog trying to get back in. So it looks like it's did its job by not letting it underneath the shed. And if you see here, they've been coming through the sides of my fence. So it's been like a whole process. And it's been very annoying. You can tell by the dirt here. We've gotten so much rain that the issue is that now that I'm ready to put on the decorative lattice, the ground is it's not dry, which is gonna make my life 10 times harder. But it's literally rained every day for like weeks now. So I'm gonna try to see if I can still do this today. So anyways, that's my job this morning. So we'll see if I can get it done. I will say, even though it's not perfect, I put on the front lattice a few weeks ago and I put down some new seed. So that's why it's like a patch here and some new growth. But once I finish, I have topsoil and seed and everything. I'm gonna put it all around. And then I'm gonna finish painting the door and doing everything. I think I'm gonna keep it all white, I've kind of decided, but that's what we're going with. But there's been a lot less drama with Gianna and the groundhog since I've started this process. It's just everything is all over the place right now because I've been dealing with the rain. Okay, it's the next day. I'm giving myself like a 5-minute break. Whew. I'm determined, if the flies will let me speak, I'm determined to finish as much as this shed as I can today before it starts to rain. The rain has been a problem with all of my outdoor projects, and at this point, I'm just gonna fight against it. I am 2/3 of the way, I would say. Maybe 3/4. I'm not sure. somewhere in that percentage of the way done with this shed. It turned into a whole like refresh remodel situation. So right now I'm dealing with the door and I have to realign it, which is more work than what you would think. And to be honest with you, to some extent, it was my fault. So like 2 years ago, I replaced the hinges, and what I didn't realize is that the old hinges, because they were rusty and gross, and it needed new hinges. What I didn't realize is that sometimes they just stop manufacturing the size of things that you need. So they stopped manufacturing the old size of the old hinges that I had. So the new size, it's comparable or comparable, however you pronounce it, but they're like slightly larger on the frame side. And when I tried to put the door back up with one set of hands, the door was a bit misaligned. So now that I'm doing all this stuff and I need to repaint and everything, I'm going to realign the door, which is difficult to do when you have one set of hands. So just came back from Home Depot. I got a 2x4x8 foot piece of lumber that we cut down into 4 equal parts. So right now I'm using that as a support for the door. It's still a bit misaligned, so I have some shams that I'm going to try to use to realign it. Pre-drill the holes on the, on the frame side, and then after I pre-drill, I'm going to go basically have to unscrew everything. And what I'm going to try to do today is finish the next coat of primer, finish 2 coats of paint, and put the door back on the hinges. The one thing I don't know I'm going to be able to do today is if I'm going to be able to realign the locks today. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. That just sounds like a long list. It's not. The most difficult part of this is going to be aligning the door, excuse me, which is what I'm doing now. And my brain is like not fully awake yet, so I'm giving myself 5-minute break because it's beaming hot over there. Like this side of my backyard right now has shade. Where this shed is, it's beaming hot. So yeah, I'm gonna do a bit of that. That's my plan for this afternoon. And then I'm going to go from there. I will say yesterday I finished a good amount of it yesterday. Like, I'm glad I got the decorative lattice up. I put down a bunch of topsoil, some manure, some new lawn seed. Like, once that grows in, it's gonna look really nice. And then I have to like mow some sections of my lawn and also fill in some gaps that's going on in the backyard, which fingers crossed. I'm going on a tangent here, but with Gianna, not only is she high energy, she likes mud and she likes to dig. So if you're curious, for the people who've been watching all my gardening stuff and backyard stuff on Instagram, the reason why there's certain holes in my backyard is because they're her favorite holes. So every single time I have filled those holes up, she has gone back and redug the same holes. They look terrible. So I'm gonna try to fix them again. But at least around this shed, there's no holes there, but there's other holes in my yard. So long story short, it's a work in progress. Like, I think it'll look really nice once I finish. I have an extra planter that I'm thinking about once I finish putting up the paint, or maybe even before, I'm gonna put in front of the shed. I just came back from Home Depot. Mauves are in season, so they have some of the baby mauves, and I think I'm going to buy a bunch of burgundy ones because they'll just look really good as a decorative piece. So I don't know, it's a disaster out here, but I'm gonna get to work and go from there. So all right, it's been 5 minutes, I can see on the timer, so let me just get up and go do the work and get it done.